Hi guys, this is Chaos and Recovery, where we explore the highs and lows of mental health and addiction. We're kind of transitioning into a different direction, and we have my sister as the co-host from here on out. Hi, Jessica.
Hello.
Quick introductions there. She was on episode 12, I believe. Damn, this is episode 18.
Let's go.
This is insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So our guest today is Justin.
Hi, guys.
Justin and Jessica know each other for how long now?
Wow.
Like six
Yeah,
years now?
6-7 years. Yeah.
Crazy.
6 years. And how'd you guys meet?
That I'm not too sure of. I think I was coming back from college. I think Jess had connected with 3 Live Dance Company, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
And you were taking class. But I think I was in college when you kind of joined the community.
Definitely.
And when I came back, essentially my partner, Nikki, shout outs to Nikki, she essentially said that, hey, you got to meet one of my friends. And I think we ended up coming to your house and then hanging out with you. I think that was like the first time that we actually like met like that.
Yes, absolutely. I do remember the first time that we actually met because it was in a class at 3 Live Dance Company, and it was like a freestyle class that they were doing and more contemporary based, like instructional improv type stuff. Or no, it was For Livelihood, I think. Yeah.
That was the first time we met.
There was a cheese, like a gymnastics cheese that you would roll in the middle of the room. And we had this instruction to meet or something in the middle and like tell a story. So we actually, the first time we met, we danced together. I remember because it was like a Sabrina Claudio song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, you know, like this like intense song.
Emotional.
And then Nikki, we became very, very good friends very soon. And she like told me the backstory kind of her life and that like about this Justin guy.
That's funny.
And so I remember it because I was like, oh, I was like, so sorry we danced like that together.
That's funny.
It's fine.
I remember that night, but I just can't remember that's the first time. But it's probably because I was meeting so many new people because I came back and people were like, who the hell is this? And I'm like, wait, who are you?
Yeah.
So it was one of those moments where I'm meeting a bunch of new faces. But that's funny that we actually have that. Yeah. I love that. I'm never going to forget that now.
Now, what's Livelihood for everyone that doesn't know?
Livelihood, I mean, it's hard for me to talk about it because, like, it was like an amalgamation. Like, it was kind of inevitable. My partner, Nikki, had formed it with her co-owner at the time. And essentially, it was a competing group that was going to compete in competitions around all different states.
Yeah.
But just compete and hold titles in terms of winning competitions to get the crew known. So I would say maybe it's between like I would call it a professional dance crew.
Sure.
Is what it is. And we do competitions that pertain to the realm of dance with various techniques. But yeah, I can't really speak too much on it because I don't know like the inception of like the main purpose of it. But I think it was just to come together to form a professional dance crew with the dancers that we had. Because at the time it was just different clumps and cliques of dancers coming together to take class. But understanding that we wanted to form something as like a unit in a family that we could train together, experience things together, and go compete together to put on for Rhode Island at the time.
Nice. Now, how did you find Livelihood?
So it's funny because I never knew like this dance community in Rhode Island, even though I've been dancing in Rhode Island since I was 3. So it's just kind of like different regions of Rhode Island. I guess you have different like dance scenes, if you will.
Sure.
And I was in the studio world, you know, many different studios and that kind of thing, convention girl and competition girl. And so when I actually... It was after college, after New York, I came home and I was kind of like in this shitty space. Like, how am I going to keep dancing? Like, you can't go up the street to the studio and dance with the 14-year-olds anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know, I was kind of down in the dumps about where I was in my dance journey and in my life because I had really felt at the time that like I gave up and I took the easy route out when I had like a really great opportunity to really push forward with and possibly work in that realm at that time in New York City. So, and also I was just like getting like out of it, like my body hurt, once you're out of it for like 2 to 3 weeks, you're like, oh, everything's tightening up and I need to keep moving. And like, it's when it's your whole life. It's like, you need to find a way to have an outlet. And that was always my outlet. So I had started going to random studios to take like any class that I could find that like might fly, or it wasn't like a, teenage ballet or modern class. And Kim, shout out Kim, my best friend since 7th grade, she showed me a video, and it was of little Gigi on Facebook. And she's like, look at this girl. And because Gigi's mom is Angelina, who we went to Tollgate with.
Okay.
Yes. In your class.
Angelina Rossi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's her daughter.
Okay.
So Kim just shows me this video, and I'm like, she's like, this is Rhode Island. You got to go take these classes. Now, mind you, it's like little Gigi. She must have been like 4 to 5 years old, crumping, going crazy. Like Edgar's in the back, or like, hyping her up, and everybody's screaming. And just like, showing me like, okay, what is this choreography? Because I know that you're not in classes right now like this, like you maybe like to be. And I'm like, what the hell? So I was just like, I just Googled it, and I'm like, oh, 3 Live? Okay, boom. I was like there the next week.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
That was a wrap.
Never looked back.
Crazy to think that was like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
7
that's
years
wild.
ago. Yeah, so that's how I found the community, and I just started taking classes. This is when they had Wednesday classes, 3 classes in a row, $5 a class. Yeah. And I would be there every Wednesday taking those 3 classes. And I loved it because it was so many, when you have like rotating teachers like that, and especially like my age, and the people were my age, well, or so I thought. Somewhat, they were still younger, but I could pass.
Yeah.
And it was just like perfect for actually the training that I needed when I was in New York.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? That's the training I never got, so the variation was awesome, and just the community was awesome, and I very, very quickly met a whole group of people that are lifelong friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
When did you start dancing?
I feel like that date is unknown to me.
Sure.
Growing up, I always was like goofy and like the jester, the jokester. So I would just always dance. It really was socially.
Yeah.
Like at parties, in my room, when I would annoy my siblings. It was just always movement. But it was always this balance of like wanted to play sports. So I was playing basketball, and I tried football. And those things didn't really work out just because of financially I couldn't afford to go to the camps that other kids were going to really try to pursue that as a career. And I just happened to meet people in middle school who were dancing, just casually dancing and kind of training here and there. And I met this one kid that kind of gave off this like Bruce Lee vibe of like read this book, knew karate, kung fu, knew how to dance like Michael Jackson. And that was kind of like the spark of me really connecting with someone on like a different level with like a mutual hobby or interest.
Sure.
Which kind of projected me into telling my mom like I wanted to like take dance classes. And so my mom went to find dance classes, and coincidentally through the universe was doing Zumba. I think at a YMCA. She had a membership, and she met my mentor in dance, Edgar Valoria. He was teaching the Zumba class. So after the class, she connected with him, and he had recommended her to bring me to a nonprofit called Everett Stage. I'm just going to say Everett. I don't know what their name is now but it was a nonprofit in Everett, located in Providence, where you could do all the arts and pay whatever you could.
Right.
So that kind of launched my trajectory of just being around inner city kids doing art and dancing and acting, and kind of spiraled my artistic journey there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I did a couple dance classes when I was younger.
Let's go.
We could pull up the video of Aladdin. He's doing the ribbons. He was in gymnastics.
Yeah, until I got peer pressured out of it.
Yeah.
There was always those kids, at least when I was younger, that was like, you can't do ballet and stuff. Like, what do
Yeah.
you mean? You know,
Yeah.
I was also playing hockey at the time. It was like, how am I going to tell my hockey friends that I'm like,
Yeah.
taking ballet classes?
It's
you
a
know?
double life. It's a double life.
Yeah. And I let that perception just like rule my world. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, I'll do hockey. You know,
Yeah.
you know, and in reality, I wish I'd
Says a
stayed
lot.
with it. Yeah, I think it was the
Yeah.
first time that I met you was in Jess's basement
Oh yeah, freestyle Wolf Den.
when you guys.
Oh,
would-
snap.
You,
yeah.
You would pick somebody would pick a song, and then another person would say, you know, the variable that you had to do
Yeah, like the task.
during the dance.
Yeah.
And that was a fun time. I would do that again. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were fun. It was really just me trying to get Nikki and Jesso to freestyle at the time. Because, like, in terms of, like, my intro to dance, it came from freestyle. So it came from this place of no choreography, no one's telling you what to do. You just have music and you're having an exchange with someone.
Sure.
And so that was kind of my first entry into the art form dance. Because realistically, I felt like as an individual, my voice was silenced in various ways throughout my life, whether that be through trauma or my experience. But freestyle was the one space where I felt like you had the chance to have your voice be heard.
Okay.
And so it kind of became like something of like a badge of honor, where it's like every
Sure.
time that there was an opportunity to have a cipher, which is essentially a circle of freestyle, that you would go in there and make a statement, no matter who you were, what you believed in.
Yeah.
Just make a statement, make a presence, and be seen. So that was a space for me to be seen. So I feel like the Wolf Den was me trying to give that ideology to people who struggle with freestyle, because it can be a mental block and very anxiety inducing as well. But there's so much liberation when you get to the point that I've been at and have shared that with others. So that was me trying to like push that onto them without like bullying them about it, but trying to create a space that felt authentic, where Jesso and my girlfriend now, Nikki, could live in that space and feel it's okay to not have all the choreography, all the moves figured out, but like, what is your experience to the music right now when I press play?
Yeah.
So that was that whole kind of process that we were going through.
And I can imagine how a classically trained dancer would have a very difficult time crossing those certain lines.
Absolutely.
You know, I firsthand have seen it through her own vocals, struggles with it, being embarrassed almost by doing certain moves or whatever, or trying to block out certain things just so that your body just moves.
Yeah, just judgment on yourself.
Sure.
And, your perception of other people's judgment on you. It's like, that's the first block.
Yeah.
And then the freedom is the next one,
Yeah.
tapping in for
Right.
real and not feeling like a fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard
Which
not to
people
feel like a fraud when you have a vocabulary in your head, or you have a vision of what it's supposed to look like, or you see someone phenomenal that hits you different, and then you're like, oh, I don't look like that.
Yeah.
So being yourself is,
Yeah. Plus, from my experience of being a street dancer who's now classically trained, I could see from my perspective a lot of the mental or the mentalities that play classical dance come from the history and how it was taught and the behaviors within the culture of classical technique, which a lot of it is body shaming and needing to be a certain way. So it already forms the mind of people who train classically to kind of take on those burdens, maybe not knowing at the time.
Right.
Because even I experienced it myself, where it's like I never stood in a mirror and looked at my body to try to compare it to like a uniform formation or what the dance is supposed to look like. Because when I started dance, we didn't even have mirrors.
Right.
So you had to trust your instructor that you're doing the steps and someone is validating that you are correct without you being able to see the reflection of yourself to judge whether you're right or wrong. So there was always that sense of trust and also not giving a fuck.
Right.
Because I'm like, I can't even see my arm, but tell me if it's straight.
Yeah.
So that builds a different kind of connection with, okay, now I'm trusting the sensation of what it feels like to have my arm straight rather than the validation my eyes see of like, oh, okay, my arm's straight.
Right.
So I can move based off feeling versus validation of my eyes.
Okay.
Like, oh, I need to see where my body is to see that it's okay in the position. No, I can feel what a straight arm feels like and remember that feeling and close my eyes and go back to it. So I think that's the relationship that I tended to struggle with between like being a street dancer, going into more technical dance styles. But I feel like personally it's a lot easier for a street dancer to become a clean technical dancer than a clean technical dancer to come towards more of a street style.
Okay.
Because we already come from a place of liberation, I feel personally.
Sure.
To then tighten it up and be uniform.
Right.
Versus being in a uniform and being asked to chill. Like, what does that look like to people who, you know, don't have that? You know what I'm saying? They pull up all the time. So it's a weird conflict, but it's definitely something that I noticed in my journey of dance, of being able to go in a room with people who have their legs higher than me, but leap like a fucking beast and take the attention away.
Sure.
Because of the fact that I'm just able to go in there and be myself and say it might look sloppy, but I'm at least going to jump as high as I can.
Right.
And it might not look pretty, but you can work on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're not going to jump higher, you can't get further, you know?
Right.
You have to be willing to do that type of work. So yeah, that's just my perspective.
Yeah.
It's so interesting too, because it's wild how much sense it makes when you're talking about like being in your body and trusting yourself and your senses and just learning and growing that way versus seeing with our eyes and perceiving. And it's like, it's really something to be said about all of life and how we interact with everything, right? Whether it's like external circumstances or like trusting ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, wow. It's so crazy because in a lot of this healing, you know, you learn to like get in your body and like listen to your body. That's what, you know, your intuition. Yeah. And like your body speaks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Your body shows you whether you're nervous or whether you should be blocked or whether you know, you feel in pain. You know, it's just wild.
Yeah.
We don't really trust.
The connection.
It's just the connection.
It's a deeper
what we've
connection.
seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate what you just said to kind of like having a strict childhood.
Yeah.
For me, having a strict childhood, there were expectations and goals that needed to be met, and when they weren't met, I felt like I wasn't doing my dance well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so in return, like I couldn't be myself. I was trying to fit this mold.
Yeah.
And so like then trying to get out of the mold that my parents or what I thought my parents wanted me to be was so difficult. And so for me, that's why I chose drugs and alcohol, because then I could finally be who I wanted to be without worrying about outward perception and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Did you use any, like, did you drink to find a certain place of freedom from your mind in dancing at all, or any other substances?
I would say, I mean, I also had a strict childhood growing up too. My mom worked for the federal prison for like 12 years.
Yeah.
So it was everything was calculated. When I get home, house better be clean.
Yeah.
This, that, and the third, because I'm working to put food on the table for you. So it's only out of respect, out of consideration. I shouldn't have to come home and do those things. So I kind of understand that.
Yeah.
But I would say within that kind of bubble of a lot of restrictions grew my creativity.
Okay.
And I think at the time, I would say during high school, like probably beginning of high school, I started to drink a lot more. Weed wasn't really something that, like, I feel like my generation, we weren't really smoking a lot at the time. It was more just drinking.
Sure.
So I would say I just started to drink to be more social with people because of the fact that I feel like I was personally at a point where I never really did much introspection. I was telling this to Jess. I didn't do much introspection into myself throughout my childhood with the trauma that I've had, and was always on the go of wanting to laugh, be with people, so that I didn't really have to sit down and think about all the things that didn't make me feel good. Yeah. So I would say that's kind of where my drinking kind of picked up during high school, where I was almost out every night, drinking with friends, coming home late. I would still go to school, but I would probably go to school late every single day.
Yeah.
Because I'd be out all night, and I would just go to school, grab my homework, figure out what I had to do, and get it done. But yeah, I would say drinking was like my introduction into linking up with other people and being social.
Okay.
So I felt like I kind of was living two lives at the time. One was much more of an adult life, much faster than maybe I should have been doing, where I was drinking and chilling with whoever and meeting people. Granted, I had a decent head on my shoulders. I wasn't just like oblivious, and always knew how to keep myself safe throughout that kind of exploration of meeting so many different people and doing stuff. But then when I wasn't doing that, it was dance. So like dance was my therapy that I can actively say kept me alive throughout stress and everything that I was enduring in life. And then alcohol was kind of the attachment to making friends.
Okay.
Because now when I look at my journey, I almost feel like I'm a boring person, but I realize it's not that. I just realized that like once I took drinking out of the equation, there wasn't really much connection to a lot of people that I was around.
Okay.
And so that was a big realization in terms of like, okay, cool. My circle is so big, but it's not really, there's no one I can really depend on. There's not much real conversations that are happening outside of like, yo, what are we doing this weekend? Like, yo, see you here. You know what I'm saying? We're going to party. We're going to do this, that, and the third. There was no substance. So I feel like as I matured, naturally that started to lean off, because I feel personally I'm a type of person where it's like I do things out of boredom.
Yeah.
So that's why I've always had a cap or control on drugs, because I feel like I would get addicted out of boredom. Not really to substitute it for something in my life, but the fact that human connection, I feel like, is so hindered nowadays that we need some type of drug to pass our anxiety and whatever the fuck else we're dealing with to try to connect with one another. So I feel like I'll drink occasionally now, but I really don't like to drink. If anything, I'm more of a smoker, but even with that, that gives me more anxiety.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, drugs aren't really, they're not doing anything for me.
Yeah.
And I have like the awareness to say that.
Yeah.
Versus saying like, oh, they're not doing anything for me, but I'm still going to do it and still going to endure the crazy trips or the fucking bad trips that come with it.
Sure.
I feel like I'm a lot more selective about it now, because I'm like, I don't want to feel like shit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's my little spiel on that.
Yeah. Now you mentioned trauma a few times. What trauma are we talking about?
As far as I can remember, and I'm an open book, so it's like none of this embarrasses me.
Okay.
From what I can remember since starting therapy, a lot of it was there was domestic violence in my house.
Sure.
So I used to see my dad get physical with my mom from a very young age. And so that kind of then birthed into noticing that my dad was also addicted to drugs as well.
Okay.
Because my parents ended up separating. And throughout my experience of me going to see my dad, there was always... He was always tired.
This chair is so uncomfortable.
No, you good, you good.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to say it. I'm like,
Don't push too far back to make it out of the picture.
no, good.
No, you can sit back. Just
I just gotta find
Bring
somewhere
that
to
in.
put my. Okay.
we're getting there.
I love that 3 switch. She said. So
Tell us more.
from me going to see my dad, there started to be a recurring theme that he was always tired, extremely tired. Like I'm high off my ass tired, and I didn't really realize it because of how young I was.
What age?
I would say probably like maybe 6 and up.
Okay.
So I always loved going to see my dad because it was like, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where it's like my dad, when he was a normal person, was fun, funny, you wanted to be around him. But then he had the dark side, which is like when shit wasn't going good for him, everybody had to pay. Like there was no fun if he was not having fun.
Sure.
So what I started to realize later in my life is that he was either addicted to pills or he was shooting up something. I never really knew what it was. But it clicked with me one day when I got in trouble because I was skipping school and my parents found out. And they had called usually they called my mom. And my mom was like, oh, okay, like he's probably just walking, like he's going to get there late, because I used to walk to school. I lived pretty close to school. But they called my dad, which they never did. And my dad picked up, and then he called my mom. And they got into an argument because he was like, where's my son? He's not at school.
Yeah.
And so, moral of the story, my mom caught me skipping school, mainly because my best friend at the time, who lived 2 blocks away from me, his mom worked 3rd shift. So he basically was a kid raising himself. And so he would go to sleep late, wake up late, and I would get there and be like, yo, we got to get to school. And it'd be past the time we needed to leave. So we're like, fuck, we don't want to get marked as coming in late because I'm going to get in trouble. So I'd rather take the absence. Yeah, I was like, fuck it, we're just going to take the absence.
Yep, okay.
So it was one of those days where my mom found out. She came. It was a whole ordeal. I got in trouble. I couldn't do anything in my house, but I could go to my dad's house. And at my dad's house, like, he would let me play the game.
Yeah.
Be strict, but be like, okay, cool. Like, as long as you're in my house, you can do stuff. You're just not allowed to go ride bikes and chill with friends. But it was one day I was coming home after school, and I went to go use the bathroom. And when I came in, my dad was making a bowl of cereal. And when I went to the bathroom, when I came back, his head was in the bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I had tapped him, he was like, huh, and he picked his head up from the bowl. And that was probably the real first time that I realized, like, okay, like, he's probably a drug addict of some sort. Because, like, I've never seen nobody fall head first into a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, just taking a nap.
Yeah, just taking a nap. I'm like, all right. So that kind of was like that was the linking piece where I'm like, I don't know what pills you're popping or what you're doing, but you're definitely addicted to something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still have a relationship with your father?
No. I think the last time I spoke to him, it was probably before I went to college. His mother, my grandmother, had died of cancer, and then shortly after that, his brother, my uncle, had then passed later. So it was a funeral that I was going to for my uncle, where I was going to see him, and he had a new wife at the time, and a lot of that side of the family, which I wasn't really close with, because I feel like personally that side of the family, gang-related, selling drugs, so it's the stereotype in terms of being a colored person with family who lives in the project was not something that I really wanted to be around in general, just because I saw it growing up, how certain individuals navigated and moved and what they really did for work and X, Y, and Z when you start to uncover that. But that was probably the last time I saw him. And I had basically told him, or I told everybody at the wedding, like I was like saying my little spiel about my uncle, but told them that I was going to leave the state and move across the country to California to pursue my love of art and dance.
Sure.
And I was like, I'm going to make a name for myself and make my family proud, because I always felt like my last name, which is my father's last name, it always gave this sense of like disappointment of like, he's a nobody, so I'm going to be a nobody. And so I decided to make it my personal endeavor to become something great.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like I have a shitty past, or I have a shitty parent, but doesn't mean that I have to change my name and run away from that. I can rewrite what somebody before me couldn't do.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my full steam ahead when I went to college. Like my experience was very different because of the fact my mom didn't give me any money. I took all the student debt myself. I danced my ass off to get whatever grants that I could and applied for this, that, and the third. And so being around kids who their parents fully paid them there, they don't even really want to be there. They're fucking around.
Right.
I'm walking a 90-degree weather to work, working, and then waking up and dancing all day at school, doing homework. So that was kind of my drive, where it's like, cool, my mom used all the money that she could to get me to college. I'm walking out of here with something. I'm not coming back home or nothing. So that was kind of that. The last time I spoke to my dad kind of fueled my journey of like, I'm going to fucking go out here and crush it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. That must have been tough. So was he kind of disconnected of a lot of your like high school years? Or was he always kind of around, just not really too involved?
So my parents broke up like at a younger age. I was born in New York. So my mom is from New York and my dad is from New York.
Okay.
Their parents moved from Puerto Rico, or my mom's parents moved from Puerto Rico to New York to start a life. From what I know, I don't know too much about my dad's side. I know my grandfather, who's still alive on my dad's side, lives in Georgia. So I don't know if was born in the South.
Yeah.
And then his mom, who passed away, my grandmother, was Puerto Rican as well. And I think my grandfather is African American, but he might be mixed because he's like very light. So I'm like, he's either white and African American, some type of mixture, like Puerto Rican and African American you get kind of this
Sure.
lighter tone.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure about that, but my parents separated very young. Separated when I was very young, and I lived in Rhode Island because we moved when I was young from New York to Rhode Island because my uncle, my dad's brother, had told my parents that Rhode Island was like the new Florida.
Okay.
And so they believed that, and we're like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, like we're
Yeah.
gonna move from the small ass city to New Florida. They're like, cool, nice weather. Got here, nothing like that.
Got tricked.
Yeah,
So you got bamboozled.
yeah. So it's one of those things where we moved here and never went back. Like I went back
Yeah.
every summer to New York, but yeah, we never went back. My parents separated. It was on and off between custody, where my mom had full custody of me, and my dad would get visiting permissions, but then he went to jail. So there was like, it's weird. It's like I went to go visit him in jail, and that was kind of me seeing my father. Then him getting out of jail and kind of not really doing much.
Yeah.
But it was just always, whenever I saw my dad, it was like more of a lower frequency in terms of like, we're gonna have fun, but you know there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But in high school, my parents have been separated for a long time. My dad's a fucking lunatic, so he was always with women
Yeah.
and using them and then getting kicked out or fighting with them because he was the problem.
Sure.
And so he was with my stepmom. And during middle school, my stepmom and my dad were together. So when I went to go see my dad and he was high, I would really bond with my stepmom,
Yeah.
who now she's like my mom, 2.0.
awesome. Yeah.
So I have two moms.
Yeah.
Two moms and two dads essentially, because
Yeah.
they fill both of those voids. But essentially she took on the role of like, cool, like this guy has his son coming over, he's fucking high out of his mind. I'm not just gonna leave his son here bored. And so I would connect with her, play Pac-Man. Like she would
Yeah.
just entertain me while he was just high all the time.
Yeah.
And so she had finally had enough of his shit and kicked him out, which I didn't know. And when I first started high school, me and my mom were driving around where we lived at the time in Pawtucket, and we saw him on the street. And we decided to stop and realize that like he was homeless, like he was living in a crack house somewhere
Yep.
and just going in and out. And so I don't know why, but we like took him in and decided to give him a second chance. Because I mean, when it's your dad, like you don't want to see your dad homeless. Like if you can
Sure.
change something about that,
Yep.
most likely you'll change it, even if you despise them.
Sure.
That's just the kind of humans that we are.
Right.
But that kind of set the tone for what my experience was after that journey, which
Okay.
was essentially we took him in, made him feel like a person, gave him clothes, bought him a new phone, made him feel like a person so that he didn't feel like an addict who was homeless. And just those two things will alter you as a person. Like
Yeah.
you feel like an animal.
Right.
So we tried to make him feel like a person again, and it just turned to him like essentially abusing the shit that we gave him.
Sure.
Where once he had the home, he had the clothes, my mom helped him use the car, and he basically just took all of that and took advantage of it and invited my uncle to the apartment complex that we were living at. And my uncle's a drug dealer. And so they essentially would just, I don't know what the fuck they were doing there because I was in school.
Yeah.
And my mom would be in and out working, but essentially just doing drugs. And I think there was like one point where we were cleaning the house and we found a syringe in the cushion.
Yeah.
And that kind of sparked, I would say that probably sparked what I deal with now, my anger issues.
Okay.
Because at the time, it was like me trying to tell my mom, like, I don't need my father in my life as like this pity party just to say he's in my life if he's going to be like the main source of abuse and trauma.
Sure.
Which I feel like a lot of parents lose sight of.
Yeah.
A lot of relationships that I see that don't work, they choose to stay together for the kid, not knowing that it's actually just going to damage the kid more.
Absolutely.
Because you're not teaching the kid how to healthily remove themselves from a situation or go about something a different way. We kind of put on this facade where everything is okay,
Yeah.
and the kid knows it's not okay,
Right.
and then we just don't talk about it,
Yeah.
which then births mental health issues.
Sure.
So it was kind of that where I would fight with my mom because of the fact that she would choose to keep him in the house, or when she got sick and I'm going to school. I'm still doing my thing of drinking, going out. She got sick. She needs someone to take care of her.
Right.
She calls him because we don't have a lot of family out here. Then he's back in the house, and it's the same cycle of drugs.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of my experience where I was my own adult at that point. Like, it felt like me and my mom were like roommates.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's obvious. It's very obvious that you're very emotionally intelligent and aware of the situation and what it was causing you at clearly a younger age. You know, I think it takes, I wouldn't say the norm, but it sounds like younger than most, you really made the decision on how you could protect yourself in whatever somewhat healthy way.
Yeah.
To be able to handle and process like your view of what was happening.
Yeah.
Where I guess my question would be, when you were younger, before you hit that like rage state / awareness state / decision making state on your boundaries, how did you feel when you were around him in like the knowing / not knowing stage? Like, I know something's off. The vibration was kind of just low. Like, how did you feel as a kid when you were with your dad? Like, when you went
Like towards him, or
no,
how did you
like
feel in general?
like what were you thinking in your head? Like, what was like the real Justin feeling? You know, because I don't know if this is true, but like when you're feeling those feelings, like when I was a child feeling feelings and perceiving something in one way, I internalized it all. So I chose how I wanted to act. I chose what I wanted to respond with when someone made me uncomfortable. So the awareness was happening inside me, but I wasn't standing up for myself, what I really wanted to say. So, or I guess it's just like a lot of the time we feel something inside, but we're not going to come out and be like, hey, Dad, you know, you're making me feel a little worried right now. I'm feeling like, are you a drug addict?
Yeah.
You know, why is your head in the bowl of milk?
Yeah.
You know, do you love me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All those things. It's like, we're very rarely so honest and open and vulnerable unless you're in a space that permits that. So I guess like what was the vulnerable Justin going through?
I would say if I really have to like reflect on that, I would say the end all be all emotion I felt was just disappointed. And I feel like at the time when I realized that something was going on, I feel like it feels like I was a late bloomer in terms of my emotional intelligence because living in a strict household, especially a strict Hispanic household, a lot of it is you suppress a lot. We don't express ourselves a lot.
Yeah.
And so what I had learned, my coping mechanism as a child was just compartmentalizing whether I was upset, whether I wanted to cry, which is something I deal with now where it's like I'm not a super crier, and it's not that I don't feel things. It's the way I was raised. When you suppress so much, crying just does not become a natural thing that you do. And it's weird now because even I watched like a military movie where like you're seeing people like really deployed and get super emotional, but then like go to a funeral and not feel super emotional.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's a weird feeling sometimes. 'Cause I'm like, am I a fucking robot? Or like, why did, like Marley and Me brought me to fucking tears, but then I'll see like some fucked up shit where like someone gets blown up and I'm like, it's like these
different trigger in the brain.
Overload of sensories of us being pumped to become desensitized. But a lot of that regarding my father was just disappointment. It was disappointment because of the fact of I didn't understand why he was choosing to do this. And I think going from that moment and me hitting my sprout moment in terms of understanding myself a little bit more, it really came from I used to be a really shy kid.
Yeah.
So it's honestly funny that I understand why people have that fear of when we mention something like freestyle.
Yeah.
Like all the things that go on that can make you scared, because like I was the type of kid where I was so fucking scared I couldn't even order my own food at like a restaurant. Like it gave me anxiety.
Sure.
And then it just hit a vivid memory where I was at Friendly's with my mom, and we had gone there like every Friday. That was like our family thing. We could afford to eat, and that's what we would go eat. My mom was like, I'm not ordering your fucking food for you. She's like, you're going to go order your food. because I was at the age of like, okay, maybe like 10 or 12, like I can speak, you can
Sure.
order your food.
Right.
And that was like the first time where, because I was forced to be pushed to speak up for myself, that after that, it kind of set this like, oh, fuck everything.
Open
Like,
that door.
yeah, like why am I worried about judgment? Because it's one thing to be worried about judgment, but then to complain about it, you know?
Yeah.
To worry about something and not change anything about your situation,
Sure.
to then come back and complain about it. And I realized, like, if I'm going to choose to deal with this and not say anything, then maybe I deserve it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not taking the steps that I could take with what I know now to change my situation.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like something like my dad, with my maturity growing up and really diving into myself and being selfish because I had to, because it didn't feel like there were other people there for me at the time. It made me curious to figure out like the why. And then when I started to research, which wasn't really a lot, it was just putting very obvious clues together of like, okay, cool. My dad's mom was an alcoholic. I was like, okay, if I put this shit into what makes sense for the average person, if my mom's an alcoholic and I don't know what my dad's doing at the time, most likely I could be an alcoholic.
Yep.
Also, dad didn't finish high school. All these things started to play where it's like, okay, cool, I can continue to choose to hate the person that also played a part in why I am the way that I am,
Yeah.
or the way that I was, and I'm working on changing that. But when I started to understand where they're coming from, they're doing the best that they can with what they had at the time.
Right.
Not saying that they couldn't have done better, because I feel like my disappointment really came from the fact of, it's not that you do drugs, it's the fact that you have resources around you that could help you, and you choose to play victim.
Sure.
And go back to the stuff. That's what breeded the hate
Yeah.
of like, I hate that because that's a coward's way.
Yeah.
For me, especially being your son. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like I'm your nephew or like I'm directly attached to you in that kind of way. And it's the fact that like me and my mom choose to do better with what we've had. And it's
Yeah.
never been an excessive amount to get us very far. But it's like we've always locked the fuck in with what we've had and fought for more, and has gotten us to where we are now.
Yeah.
Where it's like seeing my dad just never choose to make that change and really lean on others and say, hey, I need help or I want help. Can you help me and can you keep me accountable? Not saying that, oh, you're going to get the help and then everything changes and you're fine.
Right.
But the process of figuring out what is your habitual routine that's going to keep you grounded from not leaning back into what is so easy and so familiar for you.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I can relate with so much what you just said, but definitely the victim part in addicts and alcoholics. I mean, for me, I'll talk for myself. The only way for me to consciously relapse was to play the victim so hard that I convinced myself I needed that drink of the drug for my medicine.
Yeah.
Because I hated who I was and hated that everybody else hated me around me, or so to speak.
Yeah.
That the more I told myself I'm a piece of shit or that nobody will love me, the more I played a victim, the easier it was to desert everybody, even my kids, and go use drugs and alcohol for my medicine.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until so much pain that I started convincing myself otherwise, and a lot of fucking therapy and a lot of, asking for help.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know I could ask for help.
Yeah.
I know I could ask for help for like monetary shit.
Yeah.
But to ask for help for my addiction or my mental health, that was like, if I do that, I'm a weak person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to be known as a weak person.
Yeah.
But here I am playing the victim, going to do drugs as a weak person.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to get through and to change the programming inside of your head to come to a point of complete surrender and start making those healthy choices, start asking for help and stuff like that. Do you have any empathy for your father?
I do because I wanted to let you finish. Like, I can see kind of both sides because of the fact of like, I feel like I'm a part of the generation that was the gap between it's not weird and you shouldn't be bullied for asking for mental help and quitting drugs. And because when I think about just family members that I have, there's certain people who still, I mean, I wouldn't say still now, but up until a recent point, therapy wasn't really like all those things weren't an option. Or if you took medicine for your ADHD at the time, you were like like, yo, like you're retarded, or like there's something wrong with you, and all this fear from being judged.
Yeah.
Where it's like I can understand and I can give sympathy to my father, but at the same time still demand more out of him.
Yeah, sure.
So it was always that battle where it's like I didn't want to forgive him because it felt like he's winning. Like if I forgive him, like he gets to do all this shit, get sympathy, and then get away with it. I'm like, oh, fuck that. I'm like, no, you don't deserve that.
Absolutely.
But in the same regards, when I look back at the history, I'm like, what the fuck would I do if, like, I don't know if my grandfather was a drug addict or what he did, but like if my mom was an alcoholic and if my dad was or wasn't in my life at the time, and my younger brother's selling drugs, and you know, where would I be? So I kind of had an internal battle of like, let me get off my high horse of judging people who are selling drugs, doing whatever they got to do, because a lot of the times it comes out of fucking survival instinct.
Yeah.
Nobody grows up and says, I want to be a drug dealer and I want to do bad shit all the time.
Right.
It's majority your surroundings where it's like, okay, cool. The only safe way for me to stay alive, do drugs, sell drugs, be a gangbanger at the time, those were the options. There weren't really much more options. It's like work at fucking McDonald's, which already feels very degrading. Everybody's going to shit on you.
Yeah.
Or go sell some drugs, make some money, try to not get caught as long as you can. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're playing like Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of the only option that you have.
Sure.
And people talk you out of having a fucking dream. So that was the sense of like, when I hit that maturity level, I was like, oh no, I'm going to forgive him for me.
Yes.
For the fact of like, I don't have to run away from where I come from, but I can show you that there is a through line, and it's going to take a what I'll call a real fucking revolution, like an internal revolution where it's going to challenge you to so many levels. But anything that you truly want, I believe that you'll fight for, whether you receive it or not. Sure. So whatever dream I had, or even my parents telling me their dreams, like my mom always wanted to be a dancer. And so she's always supported anything that I've wanted to do, but has supported me through dance the most because of the fact of like she wanted to be a dancer. So you live vicariously through your spawn of like, okay, I couldn't do this because her father at the time wanted her to go into medical field, like something that is reassuring with finances so that your parents don't have to worry about whether you're going to be able to survive or not. So that was a dream that then died for her, because coming from parents who migrate from a different country or Puerto Rico, it's like, okay, cool, you've afforded me the opportunity to get an education, do something with my life, and so I owe you. I have to pay you back with making what you think your dream was or what you think my dream should be become my reality. Okay. So it's one of those things where I have a lot of empathy towards my dad, and I've never really avoided him. I've always been open to having a conversation, but there's just, again, these reoccurring things that I can spot now that I'm a pro, where it's like, okay, cool. If you call me, I don't have any money to give you. If you call me, like, also, it feels uncomfortable for you to talk to me like I'm a baby, or like, oh my God, like you're so smart. Because it just creates more of an apparent gap of like, there's no self-awareness with you.
Right.
Like maybe that's not the first thing that you should start with. And so that's kind of been where I'm at, because my younger siblings, from my dad's side with my stepmom, they're now just getting to the point of like, oh, okay, we can't really rely on or trust anything that dad's ever said. And that it's starting to set in for them like, okay, like, yeah, my dad's kind of a deadbeat. Yeah. And so I've always tried to tell them, you know, like, stop expecting stuff, because you expecting is going to be where the pain comes from. Yeah. When you don't expect anything, then you can have a better experience. And I think that's where I'm at now, where it's like, okay, cool. If I got the child support that's owed by my dad, we'd be fucking chilling. Right. I'd be a millionaire. But it's like I let go of that expectation of like, he's going to be a provider. And I've just let him be a person. But even watching from afar, hearing through relatives who are still connected to him to some way. It's like he just got out of jail not too long ago for stalking whatever wife he has now, because I know he's in the same cycles of because I'm cute and have green eyes, I know how to manipulate women to then get into their home, leech off of them, and then once the woman feels that, they're going to get rid of me. Because, you know what I'm saying, there's only so much that you can take from someone fucking leeching everything from you. So me knowing that he's still dabbling in that, I'm like, I'm at a point in my life where I don't have time for that. Like, if you wanted help, you would reach out with you know what I'm saying, the proper type of, and I'm always down to help. So that, I guess that's the moral of the story, is that I've always been empathetic to my dad, of like, if I could truly help him, I would help him. But I understand that me keeping my distance is also helping him.
Right.
Because it's also showing him that there's a piece of him that's will always be missing, and he'll probably die being miserable knowing that. But it was his choice.
Yeah.
Because whenever he's tried to reach out and contact me, my mom has always said, don't reach out to me. You can reach out to your son. But if he wants nothing to do with you, just know that's you. That's not him.
Right. Because,
like, the child doesn't need to reach out to the parent. And I feel like a lot of parents forget that sometimes.
Absolutely.
Where it's like, the fuck do I look like being 12, 13, 15, reaching out to my dad? You brought me into the world. Why don't you reach out to me?
Sure.
You know?
Expectations of premeditated resentments.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
It's a hard lesson to learn for people.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's to remind myself not to expect is because I feel like I'm owed something, you know, and then the anger sets in when it's not presented the way I needed it presented, the way I think it should be presented, down to like the last variable. You know, it's been so for me, I've had to take a look at all my resentments I have. I do this with my sponsor.
Yeah.
And then we look at what it affects me and what was my part in it. Most of the time, I was the one building up my anger towards that person.
Yeah.
You know, and blowing it up into something bigger because I expected something back from them or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's hard. All right, let's do a little icebreaker after that.
Cool.
We're gonna do a would you rather.
Okay, cool.
I found some good ones. All right, Jess, you first.
Oh,
Let's go.
Would you rather fight a goose every morning or a full-size horse once a year?
Justin's so happy about this.
I know, I love that. That's a great one.
Oh, I love a good would you rather. Oh, oof. I'm gonna go with the horse once a year.
What?
I think I got him.
You're a savage.
Yo.
You're a savage.
It's a lot of duck of the kicks, but I think
You see those teeth? Those motherfuckers will bite your head off in one bite.
I'll pretend I'm one. The hair's getting real long.
Okay.
Oh my
with that
God.
long mane, sure. What about you,
Good
Justin?
giraffe fighting.
Oh, and ask the question one more time.
Would you rather fight a goose every morning or a full-sized horse once a year?
I'm fucking dogging the goose every morning.
Every morning.
Every morning. By the neck.
Is it before or after you brush your teeth?
It don't matter. Bring it right when I wake up.
Oh, yeah, I'm hardcore. Like, knock on my
Swinging
door.
that
Yeah.
thing right across the street.
It's just your alarm ritual, wake up ritual.
I will-
It could work. All
I
right,
will not go near a horse. I will not go near a horse.
I
wouldn't
would-
even pet one.
I feel that. I don't, yeah.
Those teeth and those hooves, that's damage. People
Yeah.
die from horses all the time.
Yeah, I've seen people get
I
kicked.
don't know one person that's died from a goose. Show me the stats on that one.
That's funny, bro.
All right. Justin, you first on this one.
All right.
Would you rather give the best gifts or the best advice?
I'd rather give the best advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel that. Just?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's anonymous, synonymous. Okay. Would you rather be followed by a cat all day or a dog?
Oh, dog all day.
Yeah?
Fucking.
His girl would leave him if it was a cat.
Yeah. I didn't start liking cats until recently, just because growing up, like, in the projects and ghetto ass houses, I'd always be assigned to go grab somebody's kitten that they're not taking care of. And so when you get scratched and hissed at by cats the majority of your life, you just don't like cats for the most part. So yeah, I think I've always been a dog person, just because cats, they have too much attitude.
Okay.
Like, it's almost scary. Like, the way that they'll stare at you is like, I don't know if you want to slice my throat open
Oh, they're
or
all
if you're
knowing
happy.
for sure.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have more friends now who have cats, who have taught me, like, the cat whispering ways of, like, knowing what the tail means if they're wagging their tail, or if they come brush up against you. But up until then, I was like, I do not like cats.
Do you know cats are the only other animal in the world that have reptilian eyes?
I did not know that.
Yeah. They have eyes of snakes.
I mean, the way that they look at me, though, still doesn't.
Yeah. What about you? Cat or dog?
It's following me. It's
All
not touching
day.
me.
All day following.
Okay. Is it?
She said, okay.
How close?
Yo, I don't make the rules. I just have one
Following.
line.
A dog, for sure.
A dog?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going with the cat. I'll take the cat.
I maybe would have said cat if you told me that the dog was, like, on me, because, like, dog slobber all day is just not my thing.
No, he's just following you.
Yeah.
He's just like your little sidekick behind you.
Yeah. It depends on the
like a
aura of the
cat
of
with
the animal.
with the tail swagging like that.
It's like, is it going?
I don't know.
Because it's not going to be that dog.
Depends if you're jogging, I guess. You know.
Yeah. I feel like with dogs, it's a lot easier to see, like, if they're aggressive and upset, or if they're fucking with you. So I feel like the fact that I can get that confirmation very fast makes me feel more confident in my decision.
All right, valid. All right, would you? Oh, Jess, this is first for you.
Oof.
Would you rather go without shampoo or toothpaste for the rest of your life?
Would I rather not go?
Would you rather go without shampoo?
Oh, without
or
shampoo.
Toothpaste.
Yeah, you got the natural oils.
Yeah, you'd rather go with shampoo.
Yeah.
Without shampoo.
It's same.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Okay. Well, that's what I got. The first one was a banger.
How about the paper cut one?
What's the paper cut? Oh.
Would you rather get a paper cut every time you turn a page, or
I don't remember the second part.
hit me with one?
I don't know, but it's the other one. I hate paper cuts. Put whatever you want in there.
Solid.
Paper cuts fucking burn. I don't know why they burn so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a thought of one makes it worse than it actually is.
Oh, I think I know why they hurt. And I don't know. I was watching a YouTube short because I stay up till 3 a.m. It's my hobby. So my algorithm's like, you want to see some wild shit? So I found out when you get a paper cut, the paper, the way that it slices your skin is like, it's almost like if you broke off a piece of wood. Like, it's jagged and there's a whole bunch of sharp edges. So I think that creates the pain rather than we think it's just like, a clean slice.
Oh, okay.
When you zoom into it, it's like fucking someone stabbing you with a broken piece of wood.
Oh, okay.
Is what it kind of leaves, which I think creates that sensation of pain that hurts a lot more.
Interesting.
Don't quote me on that because I was probably high when I saw the short. But I remember I was like, oh, shit, okay.
Yep. Okay.
I did it one time on those aluminum, like to-go things.
Yeah. Oh.
I was like moving real fast, like turn it. Yeah. Goes through my
Wait,
soul.
Steve, can I ask you one? It's not really would you rather, but I guess who are you picking and why?
All right.
And it's a very common one. 100 men versus one gorilla. Who's winning and why?
Okay. One gorilla is winning because I don't see. So you can only surround a gorilla with at least, 10 guys. And I would take a gorilla over 10 guys any day. I don't know how you're killing the actual gorilla. Like, you can't suffocate it. The neck's too thick and too muscular.
Yeah.
Those arms, you're not messing with it. One swipe like this from a gorilla, 5 out. Done. So bring 5 more in. one more is like this, 5 out, 5 more in. Like, it's not happening. Like, if with bare hands, I don't see how you physically kill a gorilla. You're not suffocating it. Like, you could put 20 people on a gorilla and it'll probably still stand up like it's fucking going out for the gym or something.
Yeah.
Like, he's just ready to go.
Okay, I like your decision because I'm in the same boat.
Okay.
It has to be an anomaly that we beat the gorilla
Yeah.
by playing dead and someone gets a cheap shot like in the balls or something and we mass attack it. But the odds of us that going well and us executing what we rehearse, I don't see it.
Let's say if it does happen, there's 2 people left.
Yeah. I think I did see somebody post that like you're the last person alive and you didn't fight the whole time.
Definitely, that dude's just passed out. He's done. That's a good one though.
Jess, are you in agreement? Okay.
You agree?
Gorillas are the favorite part of my Instagram algorithm.
I fucking love gorillas, so that's
They're
also why I chose.
amazing. There's always new videos I'm watching or learning about them, and like the shit that they don't do. Like, they're so smart. It's crazy.
They're like peak humans. Like when I think ancestors, those are probably the fastest and closest things that I think to. Where I'm like, can I beat myself at my prime? Yeah. Like me as an ape, like can I beat myself? I would be scared of myself because I'm already a big fucking individual. So I was like, gorillas a no brainer.
Yeah.
And
they know what they want. They know what they have to do. Like, you know what I mean? Beyond the physical.
Yeah.
Like intellectually, I think they'll.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
They're out here ripping people's. Shout out to Karambi. Ripping people's faces off, dude, down in Florida, bro. Like just one full swipe, just like your whole face is gone. Like it was nothing, just peeling a banana.
Shout out to Harambe. Shout out. Keep your kids out the cages.
Yeah, bro. Poor guy had to die because some. Whatever.
That was a sad day.
Yeah, sad day. Would you rather face a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
That's a tough one. A horse-sized duck. Holy shit.
Think of that beak.
That's a big beak.
It's a big beak.
That's a big beak. But if it's a horse-sized duck...
Yep.
Come on,
so
we're talking the beak's like this big.
We're talking like this. Yeah, the duck alone, the bill alone, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a bill or a duck? I mean,
It's a bob.
So a horse-sized duck or
100 horse-sized ducks or
one duck-sized horse.
One duck-sized horse.
Yeah.
I think I'm going 100.
I think so too.
I think so.
So we'll fuck with the horses now that they're miniature.
Yeah, because they have teeth the size of fucking children now. Like, I'm punting these motherfuckers.
I'm stepping on them like, I'm fucking 1, 2, 3.
Like, I'm playing Mario on those motherfuckers, bro.
That's exactly what I'm just going to step on all of them.
All right. So, Justin, Crumpin. Tell us how you got there.
That's a wild journey.
Yeah.
How I got into Crump, I would say my first exposure to it. I can't remember how old I was, but it was probably maybe when did YouTube come out? YouTube came out 2005.
Early 2000s. Yeah.
It probably was either 2005 or 2006, which I think the Crump documentary Rise came out 2003 or 2005, don't quote me on that, but I would say it was during the newer era of YouTube, and it was a little bit more established where people were uploading like videos from their phone, and it was a little bit easier. I just discovered, I don't know if like it was an algorithm at the time, I don't even know if they had an algorithm, but I think I was just researching dance. So, like, my gateway into dance was obviously Michael Jackson, which was for a lot of people that discovered you trying to research and find different things that were cool. But I remember, I think I discovered, Tie-Dyes, who is one of the creators of Crump, along with Miho, who was technically supposed to be co-creator. And I didn't know at the time that they were the creators, but I was just watching old footage. and being like, what the fuck is this? I just remember it's like just something that you watch and you just don't stop watching because you're like, it's so interesting at the time. I'm like, oh shit, like I've never seen dance in that kind of facet.
Sure.
So that was really like my first interaction with seeing the art form and the dance style. But in terms of actually learning krump, I would say that didn't happen until I followed my big homie Edgar Valorier, who I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
He had left the nonprofit where I started dancing and was training underneath him to link up with one of my other homeboys, Dennis Leggett, DJ, but in the krump world he's known as Truck.
Okay.
And that was my first exposure because DJ at the time was pioneering or part of the pioneer of like East Coast krump in terms of like it being in Boston, Connecticut, and then in Rhode Island. So that was really the first gateway of me being around krumpers and going to the sessions and seeing what that looked like, which is, it's a fucking outer body experience because it's just a bunch of spiritual beast-like energy that's just infectious, where it's like a lot of people just see it as like mindless rage, but essentially it's just oppressive rage that you have experienced throughout your life put into an environment where you can kind of share that. Like I would say the most similar thing that I could maybe compare it to is like maybe like a mosh pit, but you're not like actively hurting each other, but it's that same vibe of like the pit. You transform once you go into the pit. So that was probably the first time where I was actively around sessions, just dancing. I wasn't even krumping. I would just go in and dance and do whatever fuck I could do, get out and watch other people go, which then started to breed into these events called the Fitted Talks, which is like was a bigger krump event in Rhode Island that traveled that East Coast Krumpers or DJ at the time was putting on with other people. And so I would go to those and really be a part of the culture and just study and see and watch.
Were they battles or?
Yeah, a lot of it, like, so you'll session for hours and hours and go fucking like 12 rounds from like 12 to 3 a.m. But then you'll battle. It'll be sessioning split with battles, and battles can go on forever because the format that they work in is like you have a whole intro, you go into some shit, you take a breath, get back up, I'm not done. So it's one of those things where it's like you don't really put a time limit, you let the people duke it out, kind of like on some gladiator shit. So
nice.
that was that was my experience into that, and I naturally fell in love with it, and that's probably, I would say, my strongest dance technique now because of me being able to access more of the physical anger side of my trauma, because I use dance to be my therapy and facilitate and express my frustrations and my emotion. That was how I emoted, but krump really helped me zone in onto the anger, rage portion and express that in a different way that didn't feel accessible through other dance styles.
Okay.
And so I started to blend that with a lot of the theatrical training that I had at the time. And it just made it very real. Because for me, it's like I can dance and do things that don't look like dance, but because I'm so committed and I believe it, it looks good.
Sure.
But if you put it on someone else who doesn't, they feel very awkward, and it's very apparent that they're like, oh, asking me to act. But it's like, for me, it's like I'm not acting.
Right.
So if anything, it's like method acting, where like to other people it looks like acting, but to the person it's real.
Yeah.
Shout out to Heath Ledger. Legend. R.I.P. to Legend. But it's like one of those things where like he was so great, but you know what I'm saying, because he was so invested, it'll take over your life. And
that's what took him down.
Yeah, that's how krump can be.
Do you feel that way when you krump? Do you krump?
Yeah, that's a good question. I want to hear this one.
Let's hear your best krumping story.
I want to hear this one.
No, I don't krump.
No.
I mean, I've studied, the basics. I've taken classes. I've learned from some phenomenal krumpers, and I've been in the space and shared the energy with those phenomenal krumpers. But I would not say that I krump. I'm a crumper. I went to crump camp once
Let's go.
in LA.
Crump
That was
camp?
crazy. Crump camp.
Yeah.
That was a great experience because they split up the guys and the girls, and it was great because it was geared towards women being able to express themselves in a different way. So I think that those few classes were really special for me. But it's funny because these being invalidated and imposter syndrome will really creep in, which is why I would never say that I crump, but I've been very interested in crump, and yeah, it's almost I could never vouch for what that really truly feels like, but I know that when I've gotten to a place of true being vulnerably myself in dance and freestyle, there's that I know what that energy feels like that Justin was talking about, that mosh pit. And
Yeah.
I love mosh pits.
Yeah. Badfish.
Yeah, and just I've always had this yearning to actually feel that.
Okay.
And have I crumped by myself in my basement?
Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
I get bugged with it. Nah, but I do. I feel that. I feel it heavily when I watch it.
Yeah.
So it's something that I love, and I love to experience it.
Yeah.
Whether or not I've put in the time to really hone in on it as a craft,
Okay.
no, I haven't. But yeah, there's something to be said about having a lot of shit inside and needing that release.
Yeah.
And when I truly started understanding what movement in various realms felt like, whether I was in freestyle sessions or battles, I know what that difference is, to feel free and to be in blackout mode and to be expressing yourself from the inside out. So those moments are really special for me, which I can count on both hands probably in 35 years of living and dancing.
Sure.
Which makes them even more special and a mindfuck and harder to obtain. But yeah, I definitely feel a lot of this internal energy needing to get out through dance. And so I think that's just my life journey with it, is experiencing that more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say crump. Yeah, crump is definitely is very tribal, very animalistic. I guess the easiest way to describe it for people who aren't familiar with crump as a movement and as a culture in dance, it's like being at your highest self in a warrior spirit. Okay. In terms of getting ready to battle, and it can be internal or external battles, whatever you're dealing with at the time, but being in your highest self to combat and fight against and liberate yourself from that experience, which I feel you can relate in terms of whether with addiction, feeling that of okay, when you're at your highest self and you feel your best and you're clean and you're not leaning back into it, when you're in the realm of crump and when you're exchanging with people in the ciphers that we have, it feels very much like that, where it's even as a young kid, when I first was exposed to it, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but it's just the fact of when you're seeing a unified group of people roar and cheer and chant, it's just infectious, and that's what it becomes, and it kind of just swallows you in whole to be okay, I want to find whatever that freedom is, because in that 3-hour, 4-hour session where we're dancing and we're exhausted and going round after round after round, you really become present. Yeah. And I think that's the thing that becomes infectious to people when they see how present the individuals are who express themselves through crump. You're oh shit, wait, have I ever been present? And if I haven't, I need to find or get to that, because I feel that's what it is really at the core, is whatever the fuck you got wrong with you, or even if you don't have things wrong with you, crump came from liberation out of or through oppression. So it'll always be that warrior spirit of like you're surviving in the trenches, but you're making it out through this thing that makes you feel unified.
Yeah.
As a common race and species.
Sure.
So that's the best way to explain it.
Yeah, I like that. What is the craziest thing you've seen at a battle?
Craziest thing I've seen in a battle. It would have to be recently online. And it like European battles, they get fucking crazy. I was watching it with my girlfriend's nephew, Anthony. Shout out to Anthony, and one of our other dancers, Tyrone, aka TJ. But in the battle, also my homeboy Ryan S'mores. So yeah, the whole gang. We was all watching it because that's what we do. Like we'll watch dance videos and just chill and vibe. But in the battle, the dude had put his arm around the guy's neck like this, and then did a flip, like flipped himself around, landed back up, and then swung his arm and hit the dude in the back of his neck. And it was just a combination of all that. We had to stop the video.
Wait.
You like Bruce Lee'd him.
So, with the guy not with him in the headlock still. So headlocked him.
Nope.
Let go of him. Or
I don't know how to describe the grapple
motion?
he had because he didn't kill him.
Yeah.
But it was like he basically was able to attach
crazy.
his arm, what seemed to be either around his neck or his shoulders, and do a flip within his. I don't know if he's like double jointed. He probably is.
Okay.
Do a fucking flip within himself, and then out of just like the adrenaline and rage, go to do like an arm whip, which is like a part of the culture that's different, like the technique of it.
Yeah.
But hit him in the back of the neck when he did it. But in Crump, you can get physical in that kind of way without it turning into a fight.
Really?
Just because that's the culture where you're allowed to touch each other. Obviously not like punch each other directly.
But
if it just happens to happen, like in the culture, people are like, oh, okay, like that's it's normal. It's like football. Like you're not gonna get mad if someone tackled you.
Okay.
So it was one of those things. But as the battle was so long, like I'm pretty sure it was like we watched like an hour and a half of it. Of just like it getting more physical, where like someone does a concept where they're a bull, and homeboy like brushed his foot on the floor like a horse would, and then charged him and hit the dude, and then just started dancing. And it maybe I was just too high, like I was crying. That's how much I was laughing. But I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? That's probably the craziest thing I saw because I've never seen someone headlock somebody, flip within themselves, and smack him in the back of the neck and go crazy. Yeah. So that was
Okay.
That was peak.
I like that. What's the craziest thing you've seen in a battle?
I don't know, but you have to edit that into like the little reel that you're gonna make saying that, like the video. Put it over them, you know.
Okay.
I'll send you the link.
Okay, yeah. Send me
What's
the link.
the craziest thing I've seen in battle?
Yeah. Like, can be dance wise or like fight wise or. You guys ever seen a fight at a battle?
No, I left before it got really bad. Okay. Like it was gonna get really bad. We had an event and there was beef, and it was like one of those situations where like, yeah, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if they were gang affiliated at the time. Where like I'm not sure. It's not the type of fight that we can survive. So I'm like, we're definitely gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
No, at a dance, I don't think I've ever seen anything that bad at a dance event, which is nice.
I mean, it's
when
a nice.
You think about it, yeah. Drama for sure.
Sure.
See the drama, you like. I like. You know, we know a lot of people, so you just like, ooh, how's this gonna play out? Shit like that. But nah, I don't think anything truly violent or. Nope.
Yeah, I would say it changes when you get more into like street dance because if like we're gonna go down history lane, like hip hop, in terms of the culture of hip hop, a lot of it was started as a way of creating essentially peace treaty, but also a way to battle or have a disagreement with somebody without having to kill them. Because even like breaking was like a lot of gang bangers learning how to do acrobatics in the technique of breaking to not have to kill each other, but to have these sessions where you demonstrate either why you're better than somebody for bragging rights, which birthed the culture. So when you're looking heavily into street dance, it starts to blend those ties of like whether you're gang affiliated dancing and all of those things. So it becomes kind of these subcultures where it can get a little dangerous depending on where you are and what the politics are. But thankfully, the environment that we created, it leaves all that shit out.
Sure.
And it's just for the love of, okay, cool, you like bring the beef,
Yeah.
but it's only going to be done in this kind of way, which I feel like the dance world for the most part has done better for the most part. I'm not really too in tune to like who's fighting and what's going on, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at now, where it's like, no,
Yeah.
we don't fight.
Healthy competition.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
battle on the floor, get
Yeah.
crazy on the floor, but after that, it's all love. Or even if it's not all love, you can mutually be at a disagreement afterwards.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Mutual respect, at least.
Exactly, yeah. You could coexist.
Yeah. For the last 10 minutes, I want to talk about the business you're starting up with Nikki.
Okay.
I want to hear about that. I want to hear also about the photography camera work you've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear about Blank Space first, though.
All right, yeah. So Blank Space Studios, essentially, it was birthed out of me and my partner, Nikki Giftopoulos, trying to figure out what we wanted to do. I feel like we were in a rut creatively and in life where it's like, okay, do we want to move and try to figure out what our life is going to be? We don't want to work the 9 to 5. Like, it's not something like how we see it. And I mean, it's no disrespect to anybody else. Is like, we're very aware of like what our goals and passions are. And so when you're looking at like the 9 to 5, which society kind of sets you up to just throw you into the workforce,
Sure.
not really teach you how to be a boss or an actual leader, it doesn't work for everybody. And me personally, I'm like, I hate a 9 to 5, and I'm always like hopping from job. Like I'll work hard, but it's the fact of when you realize that all of the work is mundane and it's busy work and there's no purpose in it, it just creates misery.
Sure.
So I feel like we were both at a place in time where it's like work life was creating misery to a certain extent of like being out of alignment with what our purpose is. Meanwhile, we have this whole second life, which is dance and the arts, which we've been pouring thousands and thousands of hours to without becoming millionaires, without without thinking about trying to get all these accolades, just doing it for the love and passion of it. And so it only made sense to start something at home, because for me, I've always wanted to be able to create something creatively in the state that I live in and not have to feel like I have to run away from home to start something for people to take me seriously or to like appreciate what I'm trying to offer. So we came together and realized even if we were to move somewhere new, we would still have to build from the ground up, same as at home. But the difference is we wouldn't have the network or the clientele of people who would trust us. And so it would be double the work to not know if something's going to work out, to move, try to become a trusted individual in a community, and then try to offer something to them.
Yeah.
It's like three big things you're trying to fight up against. Versus we've built the community here. We've helped people out of the love and passion of it all. And we've been able to help curate a very diverse space of art and dance within Rhode Island, breaching across all the East Coast to different states where Livelihood has a bunch of members from kind of all over the place now who really will travel like an hour plus to come be in the space and be with the squad
Sure.
throughout the week. So for me, for me and my partner Nikki, we had a conversation like, okay, I think I want to start something. I want to start a center. I was like, I don't want it to be a dance studio because I've never been keen on wanting to own a dance studio. I was like, I have too many interests, and I want there to be the flexibility of just creation and spontaneity in terms of like, okay, I want to shoot a film. Like, I don't know if that exists in your traditional dance studio,
right?
Because I didn't grow up in the traditional dance studio, so it was only right that we come together and start to blend all of our different passions of hosting events, wanting to do pop-ups where we can highlight the community and the people that we work with, where it's like, cool, I have a lot of friends who shoot photography or like even just does amazing interior design work and even fashion work. It's like, cool, how can I give a platform that allows my friends and the network of people I'm already working with to utilize a space to help push out what they want to do?
Okay.
Help them start what they're starting. Obviously, we're going to get credit at the end of the day, but the concept isn't, oh, use my space so I can get big off your idea.
Right.
It's more of, cool, I'm giving you a space that is just professionally equipped as you would pay maybe a couple $1,000s for a studio.
Right.
So it's always been trying to blend, like, how can we make something that feels very professional, where you feel like I don't have to go to LA, I don't have to go to New York, I can do it in Rhode Island and still have the same type of quality, aesthetic, resources.
Sure.
So the shit feels legit,
Right.
rather than I got to go to LA and I got to make it big.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go to LA and then don't make it big and come back with a sour, jaded view. It's like, how can we prepare people to start doing that kind of work here and understand that, at least in the creative field, it feels it doesn't feel grounded or chained to where you live anymore, but more so your access of what you can create in the space and in your community and get it out.
Yeah.
So that really is like, this is my take on it. Obviously, you can speak to my partner as well, but I confidently speak for both of us. It comes from that place of wanting to really be able to give something very professional and very, I don't want to say professional, but when you ask somebody, like, what's the difference between like a really good movie and like a shitty movie? They're going to be like, the production quality.
Sure.
Just the quality of it in general.
Right.
Like, do I want a sweater from Nike that has a hole in it and it looks shitty, or do I want like the pristine crew neck that everybody's going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it turns into that aesthetic where it's almost consumerism, where it's like, okay, because that looks legit, I'm always going to lean towards that.
Right.
So it's like, we wanted to be able to provide a space that felt like that, but still birthed and housed a lot of the meaningful shit about art and creation and whatever you got going on. It's not only to artists, but to creatives in general.
Sure.
Even if you have a brand, like, cool, how can I drop a fashion brand but do a shoot inside of a warehouse space or something that's really finished to make it really feel like a campaign that can compete with these bigger brands that we all buy from. So it's kind of that of like, how can we help creatives and professionals and businesses step into that role of like, okay, I want my shit to hit the next level. And I want it to be around serious people who are creative and want to see things flourish.
Yeah.
And that's really where that birth of Blank Space came from.
I love the idea, man.
Yeah,
It's
thank
great.
you.
You know, it's great that you're taking it to the next level, you and Nikki, and actually moving forward with this. You know, what are some of the things that you're going to be offering at Blank Space?
So we're still sculpting out what that looks like. Obviously, it's through trial and error of what we feel like the community wants to have, because we don't plan to try to force things onto the community that's not going to be received well. It's just not good business. And also, it's like, if people don't want it, they don't want it. So what we have right now is we have a set schedule of dance classes, ranging from kids programs. So we have a all boys kids hip hop program. Then we have regular kids hip hop program, and then an older kids hip hop program. So we have 3 kids programs that we're offering, and then we also have adult beginner hip hop classes, and then we also have contemporary. We have choreography. So advanced choreography, which fuses a bunch of different styles. So we have a variety of dance classes for the beginner, the intermediate, and the experienced / professionals, along with fitness classes. Because one thing that's always important to us is, as dancers, a lot of times you don't get the training on the fitness aspect of like, okay, how do I make this? How do I create longevity in my body, in my career?
Right.
And so we thought it was important to introduce something like extreme step hip hop, because it's a way for people to do cardio in a way that feels good for them, but have it be engaging, so it doesn't feel monotonous of like, oh, I don't want to do the cardio to feel better in my body. Let's offer something that's exciting for the community and can bring dancers and just regular people who want cardio, blend that into a very fun, engaging class. So that's one of the things that we're offering fitness-wise, aside from dance, along with hip-hop yoga, kind of in the same lane of like, okay, cool, some people want to take yoga, there's different levels, people feel overwhelmed, but how do we bring something that feels a little bit different and exciting, that makes somebody want to bite, of like, okay, I don't know, I might go down in flames, but there's going to be an interesting ass yoga class, and I want to be in that. We've been trying to stay true of finding who we feel like are good teachers to lead the space, and trust that they'll lead and help build up the community by being professional, being on time, giving the best that they can, so that the money that's being synced into the business is of value and going back into the community. Like, you're paying for our class packs or our memberships so that we can try to find the best of the best for you to be taking from. Which is what you would do anyways if you go to like LA. I'm going to move to LA, I'm going to pay, I don't know, like $20+ for class. I'm hoping that it's the best of the best because I want to get the best training. So it's still taking that same methodology of like, okay, cool. These are the prices that we're offering a variety of dance, fitness, as well as rental spaces to people, but trying to get the best things in there.
Okay.
So you're getting your value's worth of what you're paying for in the space to then produce and have something for you to market or use for yourself in whatever way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. And I saw you had a podcast room too.
Yeah,
right?
so the media
room?
Yeah, so we're calling it the media room. It's really for we're gearing it towards podcast, mainly for people who want to either start their podcast or they're already shooting audio-based podcasts or even video-based podcasts and want to have a facilitated room where it's just easier for them to access.
Yeah.
So that's still in the weeds. We're still designing that just because we're trying to see how many people would be interested for a podcast room.
Yeah.
Because it's like we don't want to build something that's not going to be used.
Sure.
We want it to be enticing for people to rent it and want to use it.
Okay.
So that will be a podcast room where I'll have an interface there for people to be able to record directly onto the machine, onto a card.
Sure.
Take the card and be able to go home and work on it.
Yeah.
And then also possibly having a workstation for people who either are editing video podcasts or even just want to edit the audio right there.
Okay.
Be able to have it be an all-in-one rental where it's like I can record my shit, and then have the workstation right there where I can hop on afterwards and chop it up and even upload it from our space as well. So just giving people the flexibility of like, cool, you might want to record a podcast but don't have the tech to do the post-production work.
Sure.
And we want to give people both leverage of both. You can do an all-in-one or you can have it your way, like whatever, however you want to do it.
Yeah, it's great, man. Mm-hmm. Now, how can people find more information about this or follow your journey as far as when Blank Space opens?
So we have a grand opening this month, August 23rd, and our grand opening, doors open at 6:30 p.m., and it'll be going till 10 p.m. That you can find online at blankspaceri.com, or if you want to follow us on our social medias at blankspaceri, you can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and then our website, blankspaceri.com. You can find all that information on there. Aside from our grand opening, the next day, the 24th of August, we have workshop classes where we're bringing in me and my girl will be teaching one of the classes, so we'll be on the roster, but then we'll have two other sets of teachers, and that will run from 3 to 8 p.m. So if you want to sign up for that, you can do that on the website or our app, Blank Space. You can do that on Android or the App Store as well. Download the app, buy class packs if you want to start your membership, if you want to sign up for classes. You can do all that through that online website or our app. And that's how you stay tuned with us.
Okay, great. I'll make sure to put all the links on the description of this video.
Thank you.
For anybody that wants to get more involved or find out more information about this. Lastly, I want to hear what you're doing with your videography stuff. Now, I hired you to come out to do our art show.
Our art show.
At AS220, we had a
shout out to AS220
exhibition in for the month of May, and we had an opening there. We had a bunch of people come in. We sold a lot, and you came, took a bunch of pictures, and mixed up a great compilation video for us.
Thank you.
And it was amazing, dude. And
thank you, I appreciate it.
I want to hear a little more like what you have to offer there for anybody that's interested in getting pictures done or having some videography done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think my journey with videography has been one that's been of recent. Cameras are expensive, so it's like I've been wanting to get into video for a long time, but from the perspective of someone who doesn't have the finances to get a camera, it can be a burden because you're kind of put in this limbo of like, okay, I either try to save up everything that I can and buy whatever camera I can get, or take out a loan and try to pay the camera off while doing the work. So thankfully I was blessed to be able to get a very high quality camera that I wanted, and my idea of wanting to do video work really stemmed during college. Because a lot of what I was doing was taking dance on film. And so the real reason why I wanted to get into videography was to shoot dance films and not have them be cliche where it's like a white girl at a ballet studio finds a random street dance club and like now we have Step Up.
A two-step.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I love that video.
It has
Is that a movie?
That movie.
it has its place in time. I'm not throwing shade at the fact
Yeah,
that
no, I
Why
get it,
you
I
turned
get
to me and said, "What?" I don't even know what the fuck he said about Crump, but you gotta play that back. That's good.
But it really came from one of those things where it's like, okay, I have a lot of interesting friends who dance, and like if you ask them about their lives, like Jess, for example, if you ask her about her life and the fact that she also danced, it's such an interesting story.
Yeah.
That the real inspiration for video work was for me to try to create short films that were dance films where the dancing didn't look cheesy or cliche, but really was an in-depth look into the person's life and their journey.
Yeah.
Because we all have very deep, crazy shit going on, and dancing sometimes is just kind of like mascot for a lot of us that people see, where you'll meet a lot of people and because you dance, they'll be like, yeah, like show us something. And it's like, if you knew a backflip, I wouldn't ask you to do a backflip every time I saw you type thing. So it's that weird kind of balance where it feels like you're almost living a double life, where it's like, I have a lot of heavy shit going on in life, but this art form that I found really uplifts and keeps us going in some of our darkest moments. So it was that concept brewed in college where I was like, okay, I think I want to do video work. Like I seriously want to do video work because I am a dancer. And so it would be fun to be able to work with people and have an understanding of the same language on how to help translate people wanting their stuff on film and video, but then creating a narrative or a story. Okay. So it's like, in a way, we teach each other where it's like we can communicate through dance, but also can challenge each other to write a movie at the same time. So a lot of the video work that I'm doing now is preparing me for that, but I'm opening it up because I know businesses need video work, and I've done a lot of research, probably more than I should have because I'm like an over preparer, to know that if you're a business, as I'm a business owner now, doing social media is a fucking full-time job, let alone like a full team's brigade.
Yeah.
As are many things in a business, whether like QuickBooks, different portions of finance and insurance, like those are all teams.
Yeah.
But when we're working the 9-to-5 situation that society gives us, you get the hybrid roles where it's like, now we're going to shove a whole bunch of stuff together and we're going to pray that you can do it without wanting to rip your hair out.
Sure.
And so I realized that there might be a calling for more video work business-wise and dance studio-wise. And so that's kind of, I've been trying to wet my toes in that of like, okay, cool. How can I give people video work that they're looking for? Something that's clean, because I'm still learning. So I'm never going to try to charge a person an arm and a leg when I know my quality is only at a certain level. But still getting into that, okay, like I'm not going to do free work because obviously I'm trying to live off of it. How can I exchange and work with people to shoot what you're looking for, whether it be video? I get a lot of photos too. I'm not really training to be a photographer. That's a thing in itself.
Okay.
Also because the capabilities of my camera that I chose are mainly video specific and heavy. But it's something that I've been dabbling in more where it's like, okay, cool. I'm understanding that you might pick up one profession or medium and it entails you to learn bits and pieces, if not a whole nother section of a different medium. So with video, a lot of times comes photography.
Yeah.
And so you'll dabble between the both. And that's been something that I've been researching too. But that's definitely something that I'm exploring more as a personal choice as well as a professional choice of like, I would love to be able to do video work and help people's ideas in their brain come to life. Right. Because I was that person of like, I have these so many ideas, but how the fuck do I do it? Like, I don't. A lot of people are like, I don't know how to do that, and I don't have the $1,200 to give somebody to shoot the video.
Sure.
So it's kind of blending the middle ground of that. Okay.
Yeah.
What can you afford, and based off your budget, how can we make that feel like the best?
Okay.
$50, $100, like whatever the price point that we work towards. How can we still have a mutual exchange where you feel like you got something out of the idea you were trying to shoot? So that's kind of been the video work process that I've been going through. Is like, okay, cool. How can I charge people something that's fair, but also understand the amount of time that I've had to work and the skill set that I have in it. Not oversell myself to the point where I'm like telling you I'm going to be able to edit a film, and it feels like a commercial. You know,
Right.
Yeah, one of those things.
Yeah. So how can people get in contact with you about that if they want to have more questions?
Oh, you can definitely reach out to my social media.
Yeah.
My @ is jstn.tv. You can definitely send me a DM through there for any video inquiries, as well as my email, which is justinfarmer0322@gmail.com. You can send inquiries there as well.
Okay, great. I'll have those in the description of the video also. Anything to say, Jess? Over there?
Great job.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this was a great episode, man.
Yeah.
You know, I love having people on that I don't know about their world specifically. I have a lot of addicts and alcoholics on here. I understand what their views, their struggles, their pains are. You know, so when we do have people on here that come from a different world, dance worlds, you know, psychiatry worlds, you know, it opens up my eyes to a lot more concepts that I haven't been open to, or like I love the whole aspect of how you guys get on stage and freestyle in front of a crowd of people, because like I don't know if I could do that without drugs or alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just me and my like confidence and you know, but I mean, I used to play guitar. Put me on a guitar in front of 1,000 people, I'll play guitar all day. But I'm comfortable there, you know. So it's great to hear kind of other people's approach and perception on life, and you're such an interesting guy, and appreciate you having you on, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you guys for involving me. Like, it's been really cool to see your process, and I was telling Jess too, to see that it feels like you have a very clear purpose in terms of creatively what you're doing with this, and I think it's always inspiring, and I always want to help support things like that, because I know how crucial that can be when you don't have a purpose, especially being just a human being and then a creative human being in general. It's like it's a conundrum of like our woes are like fucking 10,000 times. It feels heavier than the average person who's trying to decide whether they want to be an accountant or move to Florida and do something completely different. So when I see somebody making a change in their life and having a new purpose and taking it seriously and showing other people that they're taking it seriously, I big ups that, because it's not easy to do, and it's even something, even with my video work, I've had to be the same way, where it's like, oh no, like I'm actually doing video work. I'm not just thinking I'm doing video work, and I'm not going to second guess that I'm doing video work. No, I actually have the camera. I can actually do the thing. So that feeling of externalizing any worries or insecurities you have regarding whatever you're doing, and making it feel like there's a fighting chance because it is an exterior thing that is not within you, is very honorable, and it's something that I do myself too. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for having me. It was fun.
I will say thank you too, for jumping on here and being just a solid friend for so long. And Justin's the type of person that will hear me out and presently listen, and also be the person to challenge me. And ask a lot of questions, ask a lot of the whys, and just keep it real with me. And I think those types of people are few and far between in your life, you know, where they support you and they're going to keep it real with you. So thank you, homie. And
always
thank you for bringing this community back to life. And I look forward to like being in a space with people again, being with you guys and being able to create. And I'm really like looking at that future for myself and this community, and I'm really excited for it. So
I mean,
fun ass year.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you, like, because you're so creative. I mean, both of you are very creative, and it's just a shame to not see somebody be at their full creative potential. I mean, granted that, who am I to say that, you know, like your full potential, but in terms of,
you know, damn well we ain't at full potential.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, but it's like to fight for that is like, whether you make it to your full potential or not, I think it's just important. Like, I guess the best like example is like kind of like 50 Cent. It's like, I'm going to get rich or I'm going to die trying to get rich. And it's not whether I get there or not. It's the fact that that was my dying mission.
Yeah.
And so it gave me purpose throughout the whole process. And so that's how I've been re-engineering my life of like, okay, I'm going to step away from the 9 to 5 and make that choice, which is not an easy choice, because freelance and figuring out how you're going to get paid weekly instead of something that consistent is equally just as hard as being somewhere miserable consistently.
Sure.
And so I think that's been the biggest thing of like, how can I not only challenge myself to get paid in more creative ways doing creative work, but also challenge my friends who are equally as talented as me to do the same thing. And the only difference is consistency and fear holding us back. So that's been the biggest thing with even Blank Space is like, it's a space to challenge and help you get your ideas out that could change your life forever, that people will not do out of fear. So that is the reason why that space exists, where it's like it's an open canvas, but it's your choice on what you're going to paint on it. There's no template to help you get there. It's just a blank canvas that's not filled for you to fill it with your story. So, yeah.
That's great, man.
Last thing, Steve texted me and asked, he sent me the Blank Space event flyer and asked if he was in for free for painting the whole thing. He said if you want to touch up your exterior logo, you're going to have to let him through the door.
Absolutely, yeah. They're definitely can be arranged.
Wait, we get the keys to the back door, right?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. That's not a problem.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks. Damn, part 1, part 2. This is fucking hour 45 minutes long.